Hi guys, welcome to another video. This is Mojo with Q News. We got a new poll by Rasmussen here, and it looks like we got Trump keeps a 2-point nod. So I think that's 3 weeks in a row now. Trump is up 2 points nationally. This is huge, guys. I don't put a lot of credence in these polls. Rasmussen's probably the best of the bunch. I just don't, like I said, guys. There's just so much shenanigans going on in our elections. I really think if we had, free and fair elections, we would see a whole different. We'd see a whole different Washington D.C. You wouldn't have your. If our election was just, like I said, just open, we'd have everyday people up there looking out for America's best interest instead of what we got now. All we do is watch a movie up there. Our politicians, they got no power. They can't do anything. They're all, in my opinion, they're all compromised in one way or another. I mean, look at that P. Diddy thing. I think I think we got a lot of those P. Diddy's around there in Hollywood, getting compromising information and on our politicians, our actors and actresses, and people in sports, in our media. It's just sad. I just wish that everyone had the same shake at life, and we just don't right now. I'm hoping we get a landslide here and we get President Trump inside office again, and he can, because we gotta just break the system down. And I'd almost say it's almost like we got to start new. I mean, our justice system is now completely compromised. We got the FBI cleaning out the FBI with conservative and Christian people. Our government, Washington D.C. votes 98% Democrat. 98% people. How? In what world does that make sense? So they hire based on politics. That's the only way that could take place. You're not getting a job in Washington, D.C. unless you're voting blue. And how did the Republicans let it get that bad? I'll tell you how. Because they're not Republicans. Like I said, it's just a big movie. There's no Republicans, there's no Democrats. We just have our political class, and that's it. And you got a couple sprinkled here and there that are American first politicians. But anyways, I'll stop bitching about that. So this Rasmussen's poll, I was quite pleased to see. And here I'm gonna let I'll put the link to the description below. I think this is Newsmax. Yeah, this is Newsmax, guys. So let's see what this guy has to say.
Might actually be doing a little better, but for those of us who worked for President Trump in 2016 and 2020, in 2016 we had the Hillary lock. We were so far behind in the polls, they said we couldn't win. And then you had the Biden blue wave in 2020, and it ended up being an exceedingly close race. To have close polls right now, it's kind of a relief for us. It's something we're not used to. But the key is the battleground states. And in the battleground states, we're seeing that President Trump has a good decisive lead, and we're interested in Vice President Harris trying to follow us around and try to take away our lead.
All right, that was a quick clip, but he had a great point. Back in 2016, Clinton was up by 16 points. 2020, Biden was up 10 points. Right now, Trump is up 2. If that holds, guys, that's a landslide throughout the country. I mean, that could be a Ronald Reagan type landslide. Here's the thing, too, is any serious person that pays any kind of attention, that's not indoctrinated by the mainstream media or our liberal universities, they're not voting Kamala. I mean, things in our inner cities are just awful, and it's not just New York, it's not just Chicago, it's not just L.A., it's everywhere, man. Pennsylvania, whew, Milwaukee, Minneapolis. I mean, you look at these cities, and they're being overrun by these illegals. Right now, they're saying Trump is going to get maybe about 28% of the black vote. That's insane. I think he had. Well, I think it was 6% of the black vote he got last time in 2020. I think it was 6%. Might have been a little bit higher, but 28%. And you know what? In my opinion, that's probably low, because it's spreading like wildfire down there in the inner cities. I do real estate, and I've been talking to some of my Muslims and black friends, and in 2020, they all were against Trump, because they thought he was a racist. No, I never really pushed my political views on anybody, but they all kind of knew I was a Trump guy. So I still talk to people. I build houses for them, and they'll stop back in to say hi or see how things are going. And they're all Trumps. They're all voting Trump. And I asked them, my Muslims too. I'm like, guys, do you talk about this stuff? Do you guys actually talk about this within your community? And they do. He says they do. And the majority of his friends will be voting for Trump. They're all making about half of what they made under Trump. Because gas, most of my Muslim friends are truck drivers. They have their own truck or they have a couple trucks. But gas has killed them. Gas prices being as high as they are, they're making about half is what they made under President Trump. And the funny thing was too, they said, Joe, I was always thinking too, if he was such a racist, if President Trump was such a racist, he knows that the majority of us Muslims are truck drivers. He goes, why would he just bring the gas prices up under his regime and put us all out of business? But he didn't. Because like I said, President Trump is not just for whites. He's not just for blacks. He's for everybody. He wants the whole country to do well. So any person with the right mind is not voting for this person. This is not a serious person. Kamala Harris is just not a serious person. I mean, did you see her at the border the other day? She walks to the border. Hey, I'm going to walk by the wall. Oh, look, guys. I'm walking by the wall. I got a border patrol guy by me. Doesn't do a press conference at the wall. No. She does a speech indoors somewhere. Not a very unserious speech. This border can be locked up tomorrow by an executive order, just like President Trump did. But let's get into these numbers, guys. We'll get into some of these here. Former President Donald Trump is maintaining his 2-point lead over Vice President Kamala Harris for the third consecutive week, according to latest Rasmussen's report survey. The poll of 1,820 voters taken September 19th through the 25th found that 48% said they vote for Trump compared to 46% for Harris. Now, that has to be an sample size of Democrats. There's just no way it's this close, guys. Like I said, no serious person is outside of your brainwashed, indoctrinated Democrats. And here we go. I don't blame the Democrats, guys. I was the same way back in, under George Bush Jr. I was the same way. You could not, I don't care what you said to me. I thought that guy was great. I really thought he was great. It wasn't until President Trump came around where I started to notice that both Democrats and Republicans are scum. My eyes are open. I saw Hollywood. I saw the mainstream media. And once you kind of see it, you can't unsee it. So I just wish that these Democrats would expand beyond the mainstream media and expand them on, get out of the whole Hollywood brainwashing. Because it does. When you're inundated by the mainstream media, by entertainment, by sports, um, school, like if you're getting beaten over the head with this narrative, it does. It sinks in, and you can't see anything else outside of it. And those are the people that are going to be voting for Kamala Harris. But I just can't imagine it's 46% of the country. It could be. Definitely could be. Because the poll carries a marginal error of plus or minus 2 points. That puts the White House contestants in the dead heat as November 5th election inches closer. Last week, Trump held a 49-47 lead over Harris. Meanwhile, partisan intensity is equal this week, with 82% of Republicans choosing Trump and 82% of Democrats for Harris. Now, what 18% of Republicans are voting for Harris? I guess that is possible. You look at the Mitch McConnells of the world, you're talking Ted Cruz's, your Mike Johnsons. I guess supporters of those politicians, those Republicans, are rhino Republicans, the establishment Republicans. I suppose 12% makes sense. And 82% of Democrats are voting for Harris. There again. Very sick people in the Democratic Party. Obviously, how you can vote Democrat with the country in the kind of state we're in right now, I just don't see it, So, however, Trump is carrying a 9-point edge among independent voters, 48-39. The gender gap between the candidates is also narrowed, with Trump leading by 7 points among men, and Harris is leading women by 3%. Last week, Trump was leading by 9 points among men, and Harris 6 points among women. In other numbers, this is very interesting right here. 51% of whites, 28% of black voters, 28%, 49% of Hispanics, and 61% of other minorities would vote for Trump. 28% of the black vote, it's over. There's no way Kamala can win if Trump's getting 28% of the blacks. There's just no way. I mean, it's going to be a landslide. 46% of whites, 66% of blacks, 42% of Hispanics, and 20% of other minorities would vote for Harris. Those numbers just don't make any sense, guys. Trump, how is he only up by 2 points nationwide if these numbers are right? If he's getting 28% of the black voters. Guys, he got 6%, maybe 9 at the most last time. 28? That's insane. That means he's gained 22% of blacks. There's just no way she can win. Trump now leads 46-45 among voters under 40, 50-46, ages 40 to 64. Harris and Trump are tied at 49% among voters 65 and older. Voters under 40 were more likely than elders to be undecided or lean towards voting for a third-party candidate. 85% of liberals said they vote for Harris, which, there again, guys, I consider myself a liberal. Liberals are not what they used to be. Though Harris is not. They're not liberal. They're Marxist. Okay, so you liberals, wake up. I got you guys like free speech. You guys like the working man. You guys didn't like going to wars. Yeah, I thought you guys want to hold people in power accountable. No, that's not what liberals are anymore. They want to tell us what to do. They want to force their ideas onto our kids. They want to take parents' rights away. They want to kill babies after they're born or up to the date of birth. They want to just open the borders and let all these newcomers in. That's liberal today. Or, in my opinion, it's not. It's Marxism, in my opinion. 49% of moderate voters picked Harris, 44% picked Trump. Harris also leads 59 to 37 among voters who make more than $200,000 a year, with Trump ahead, 56 to 37 with voters who annual incomes from 30 to 50,000. The poll found. So there you go, guys. It just shows you there. This, back in Kennedy's days, I would have been voting Democrat. But what's happened is the Republicans under Trump have now switched. And the Republicans now are, the American First movement is all about the little guy. But if you looked at 59% of people over $200,000 a year are Democrats. That's why. That's where all the money is. All the people who don't care, because they're not affected by grocery prices. They're not affected by gas prices. They don't care. Most of them probably work or have something to do with the government. Jobs. They don't care about their jobs. Their jobs are safe. They can't get fired. Their salaries are insane. So they don't care what happens to the country. It doesn't matter to them. Gas prices come down, who cares? They don't really care. The gas prices go up, they don't care. They got plenty of money to work with that. It's us who's making these, $100,000 less. It's hard to live on $100,000 this year. Now, when I was growing up, my dad, he worked for a tire company, and he made okay money. He made about $50,000 to $80,000 a year, but we were able to enjoy a great lifestyle on that number. $50,000 a year, guys, right now, you are poor. $100,000 right now, you're living paycheck to paycheck. And you're worried about that next sale, or you're worried about losing your job, or you're worried about your company downsizing, or in some cases, shutting their doors. So if these internal numbers are correct, guys, it's looking really good for President Trump. But then again, like I said, who knows what shenanigans we're going to have to put up with. Who knows what. If you go back and look at some of my video, guys, I've done a couple of videos about the shenanigans going on in Wisconsin right now. Also, I did a video on overseas voting. Go take a look at those. And you really should take a look and spread the word. Share them, please. We gotta spread the word on this thing, because you're not going to see these type of articles on the mainstream media. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Please give a subscribe. Please give a like. Please help share the channel. It's been a tough go so far, but like I said, it's only been about 2 weeks, so we're gonna keep plugging at it.